Morning, Francis and Patricia. Good
Morning.
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 Yes. Good morning to all the people watching on the live stream and most especially watching on the replay. We have a very special story today. Ito, favorite namin to. Smithfield's Kitchen, Beef Wellington and Salmon. And how do you pronounce it? Salmon and
Croute. Someone on Croute.
and Croute. Salmon and Croute. I'm really interested on how this started. By the Smithfield Kitchen team of Francis and Patricia. Kasi alam mo, for the longest time, Beef Wellington, it's hard to get it in Manila and a lot of people try to sell it. And hindi nag-work, no? And so I'm really interested, how did you guys come up with the idea? How did you overcome the challenges? And, what were your learnings as you were going through this experience to share with all the food entrepreneurs out there? So, please, if you have questions or comments, please put it on the comment section below. And join us for Awesome Live. My name is Anton Diaz, founder of Our Awesome Planet with Smithfield Kitchen, Francis and Patricia. All right, thank you. And we're here talking to thank you for All right, game. So, Francis, can you introduce yourself and maybe tell us the story? How did the Smithfield Kitchen started?
Sure. So, hi everyone. Good morning. So, my name is Francis Roque, and this is my wife, Patricia Mariano. So Smithfield Kitchen is actually a three-man team. No, unfortunately, my brother-in-law, Pat's brother, Bert, couldn't join us today. But we're a three-man team that put together this little home-based business. And essentially, the way this started is Bert is actually a trained chef. No, he trained in
ICC in New York.
Yeah. Correct. So he trained in New York. He's had some experience with five-star hotels here in the Philippines. And at the time that the pandemic started, he was actually home-based at that time. He wasn't working. And the family was really trying to think of, what can we do, right, in the home-based business? And at that time, there have been several attempts, both their family and me personally, right, trying to put together businesses. And, we've tried a number of things. And at that time, I had actually just come home from a stint working abroad in the UK. And it was kind of fresh in my mind, the Beef Wellington. And as luck would have it, Bert actually has a recipe for Beef Wellington that he's been serving Pat's family and their friends, right, for celebrations for many years.
Yeah.
Yon. And why Smithfield Kitchen?
Right. So, well, coming from the UK, I learned that there's this place called Smithfield Market, which is one of the oldest meat packing or meat districts in the world. And considering the British influence around the Beef Wellington, we felt that it was the right name to use for this kind of product.
Yeah. Nakapunta ka ba doon sa Smithfield?
Yes.
Parang layo nun di ba? Parang you have to travel via train pa, not in London itself.
It's within London, part of Greater London area. No, it's accessible via train. And yes, of course, I had to go and take pictures, etc. Try a little bit of the restaurants nearby.
Yon. So that's really an interesting. And Beef Wellington talaga is on top of the list of people when they go to London. and so that's why it's really hard, getting it here. Maybe, so what was your biggest challenge introducing it? I know, like, getting into Beef Wellington is tough as it is, no? What was your biggest challenge in creating the product and marketing it?
Well, creating the product, so as Francis said, my brother Bert has been making it for years. So it's actually like quite a good taste, and like we were happy with the product overall. The biggest challenge really was getting that same quality out there. So while we were considering, do we just cook it all at home and then deliver it cooked? But then, of course, that means that the beef continues to cook, the puff pastry might get soggy. There are a lot of things out of our control na, and so the end of it, parang the product won't be as perfect once it's served by, or once it's eaten by the customers. So what really took a long time for us was perfecting that cooking process, that packaging process. Took us months really. Parang we had to do it ourselves. We had to do several trials with family and friends just to see how it will work. Parang um, you know, even how tight it's vacuum sealed
Right.
matters apparently. So all of these things we had to study, and I was one of the first test subjects because I don't do well in the kitchen. One time, my brother, who he really cooks, he really bakes, he asked me to help him with some cupcakes. So all I had to do was like combine some cream cheese and sugar and make some frosting. And for some reason, I couldn't get that to work. So the fact that I was able to cook the beef Wellington on my own without Francis helping me, parang, okay, that was a cue for us na it's getting simple enough that we can assure people that, they just really pop it in their oven.
Yeah, so so that's good. Kasi if you deliver it cooked, it won't be as good, no? Tama
Yeah.
ba? Puff
Yeah.
pastry. Pero hindi ba it's also hard for some some of your clients to cook it for the first time or bake it kasi syempre you have to experiment on it and stuff.
Right. So I think for us, no, parang as Pat mentioned, as part of our parang research and development process, which took months, right, is we really did a lot of tests with friends and family. So a lot of these testers tried it with different types of ovens. We had to parang rewrite the instructions of how to cook it very many times
10 times.
to make sure that it's very understandable and easy. We even tried to put together mga stop motion video, right, of how to do it. And eventually we were happy with the process kasi, literally all they need to do is take it out of the oven, of the freezer, put it in the oven, wait 50 minutes, tapos na. Nothing else.
Yeah. Oo nga eh. That's why I like that. But ang mahirap is making it parang medium, di ba? What's your recommended ba? Medium, di ba? Or medium rare?
So medium would take about 50 minutes.
Okay.
And sometimes our clients would engage us and ask like different types of doneness. So that's when we would recommend either changes in the cooking time or maybe the cooking temperature.
But most people, what did you find? They eat it well done or medium rare? Ano bang?
The preference is medium rare kasi nice and thick, very ready for Instagram.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yan ang ano. Can you tell us the story of your package? Maybe kasi it's also one of the nice package products that we've seen eh. And just tell us the story of the package. Kasi ako, when we actually receive a product na maganda yung package with attention to details, usually the food is really good. So how did you come up with your packaging, and maybe you can tell that story?
Sure. So what we realized also in mga traditional meat markets, especially outside the Philippines, they would wrap their meat in what they call butcher paper. So we kind of wanted to capture that more traditional feel. So this packaging here, right, is kind of like paper, tapos may twine and their sticker. We wanted to make it feel more traditional. And we wanted to capture that and also making sure that the product is safe. So inside this is naka-thermal bag siya, right, to make sure that as the product travels, it continues to be, in a safe temperature. And the product in itself, once you take it out of the paper, take it out of the thermal bag, it's vacuum sealed, like this. So it's not tampered with. When you get there, you know that it's still fresh, right? Same with the mashed potatoes. So this way, it's the best way for us to kind of have it travel safely.
So this is cooked ba or half cooked, then frozen, or paano, or raw?
So the mash and the sauce, the red wine reduction, these are cooked already. And they just need to be heated. And there are methods in the instructions that allow us to do that very quickly. Now, the beef Wellington naman, the beef in itself is cured. So there's a certain process that goes behind it. But, once we put together the whole thing, so the puff in itself is still raw. The mushroom duxelle inside is cooked. And the beef is cured.
The beef is cured. Galing. So, how did you know that you have a winning product? Kasi I'm sure, when you start selling it at the start, just your family and friends who tell you, it's good. But how did you know that, this is a product that you can really market and the Manila will love?
Right. No, I think no, it's a really good question. And for us, during the process of doing the test, you're right now, parang family and friends, and we tried to find the ones that we felt were gonna give us very honest feedback. So Bert, for example, actually had the privilege of training with Chef Henny Season, and she's a family friend. So we would send her some of our mga projects under development, and she would give us some candid feedback. No, so it's been very helpful for us. And also, we did a bit of a market scan. No, we tried to understand who else is doing a concept like this that, kumbaga, allows us to provide celebratory special meals, hassle-free, very quickly, right? That you can just take out of your freezer and make it ready. So we felt that there was a certain level of uniqueness to it that we could offer our clients. So I think that's one. And on quality, I think one of the things that we wanted to ensure, right, was when we send our clients the products, we do try to get some feedback, and we make it a priority to adjust. And so at some point we're able to, I guess, see na okay, the comments are primarily good, not a lot of not a lot of mga areas for suggestion or improvement. And I think that's where we were confident. Okay, I think we've got the Wellington down, and you can start looking at the new products.
Okay.
And then,
Yes.
yeah, I think one of the things that really made us comfortable with the product is the people we would give it to, either to try or as gifts, they ended up buying it also as gifts, as
Mm.
friends, for their family, for their bosses. So we felt like it was something that they enjoyed and also wanted to share. So I think it speaks to the product na, people are willing to give it as well. Yeah.
So when did you start technically? And how long is the product now?
We started, I think,
Development around this time last
this
year.
time last year, so about a year ago, and it took us up until
November was the launch.
Yeah. So very many months of research and development talaga to get the process and the recipe right.
Before we continue, I'll share this is your diba, Instagram.
Right.
So we're talking about the beef Wellington and the salmon, no?
Yes.
So you only have two products, the beef and the salmon. So can you tell us the story naman of the salmon? How did the salmon came about, and is that more preferred now than the beef Wellington, or paano ba?
Well, the salmon actually was something that was really asked for by my mom, because she's not a meat eater, but she likes Bert's cooking. She likes the puff pastry. She likes a lighter fare. So after we perfected the beef, we had to go straight to work on the salmon, because one of our biggest supporters wanted it, of course. And yeah, we have been seeing there's quite a demand for it. Some days more than others. Like Mother's Day, there was a clear demand for the salmon.
Salmon, oo nga.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, okay. In terms of pricing, how did you decide to price? Because, like, for example, the big hotels, like, I think Peninsula would do a Beef Wellington also. I'm not sure who else. But you guys were home-based. Hindi ba kayo na-intimidate with the hotels? And how would you price? How were you thinking about the pricing?
Right. So I think in terms of pricing, no, you're right, Anton. We did a bit of a scan, right? Like, who's offering Beef Wellington in Manila? And we found out that it's really 5-star hotels or very fancy restaurants, right? And we realized that this is the kind of level of quality that we want to provide, but ideally something that is more affordable, so that it's something that families would be happy to buy and serve their families, for celebrations at home, especially now in the pandemic, right? We're not able to eat out, have nice celebratory meals. We wanted to be able to bring that, and we tried to come up with a price that would kind of capture kind of the equivalent, right? If you had eaten out, not necessarily like 5-star level, right? So we price it at 2,500. That's good for about 3 to 4 people. So a little over 600 per person. So it's kind of like you ate out, right? Dinner out, etc. So that's kind of how it's priced. So we feel like it's a nice fair level to come in, but also allows us to be sustainable as a business.
Okay, that's good. In terms of promotion, pricing promotion, pinapatulan niyo ba yung mga 7-7 or do you do discounts or during December? What worked for you guys for this type of product?
That's a very good question that we're yet to explore. No, we haven't actually done a lot of the discounts, but it's something we're looking at. What's really worked for us is word of mouth. No, as Pat mentioned, gifting was one of the big drivers for us. So our clients give it out as gifts on Christmas, and it just led to more orders. So it's all still very organic, and I think there's still a lot of room for us to grow.
Yeah. The biggest market is actually the food gift market, no? Kasi a lot of the entrepreneurs also, they were saying, pag nag-lockdown lang kami malakas. But I was always telling them na actually the food gift market is the biggest. It doesn't, it's not dependent on lockdowns or quarantines. And even before the pandemic, malaking market na yun eh.
Yeah.
And very important yung packaging. And I guess you got that right. Yung packaging, di ba? And some people playing with the packaging pa eh, di ba? Or I am not sure if you guys pwede mag-message dun sa actual packaging, di ba?
Yes.
So
actually, Anton, on that, no, if we could share some of our favorite stories about running this business is the ability to share, like deliver some of these. Some of them are coming from let's say people who were OFWs working abroad. They would ask us to send a beef Wellington or salmon on Croute to their parents kasi birthday, right? And we would give them the chance, okay, if you want to take a picture of a handwritten note, send it to us, we'll print it, right? We'll make it as part of the package. And it's very heartwarming to see that they're able to do that. And it's very heartwarming for us to know that we're able to be part of that celebration with their families.
Wow. Yung salmon and crude ba is a British also? Like really equivalent of, parang seafood equivalent of the beef Wellington? Or
I think it's more French.
Maybe more French. More French.
More French. So, inano mo lang.
We tried to adopt the same concept, no? Parang, I think the guiding principle behind Smithfield at this point is we want it to be nice and celebratory, but also it has to be easy. It has to be a bit foolproof, no? So that anyone can enjoy it the way it's meant to, right, in terms of quality.
Yeah, that's correct. And what I like, because we like kids kasi you want to cook it at home, no? But you don't want the 5 to 6 steps in a sense sometimes, you know, kasi you'll get stressed before eating it. At least this one, ang stress lang kami dun sa sa doneness eh. Kasi pwede mo ma-overcook talaga, di ba? And pag na-overcook mo na, you need another one to try it out.
Right.
All right. So, thank you for sharing. What were the biggest lessons you learned in this journey of launching Smithfield Kitchen? Wala pa pala kayong 1 year technically, no, in launching it. So far, what were your learnings that you could share to other food entrepreneurs also who are looking for, to make their product work? What did you learn that worked for your product and in Manila market particularly?
Well, I think to start with, as I mentioned earlier, we've been trying, like my family has been trying to get my brother's food out there for a while. So we've been selling some baked goods usually over Christmas. Our house smells like brownies because we just give those away and we sell those as well. And we've been really trying to see something that will click. And it's been years, over 5 years, I think. And I think so one of the lessons that we learned is that you just really have to keep at it. If you really love what you're doing, just keep at it, wait for an opportunity. And it just so happens that this pandemic, even if it was a crisis, ended up being an opportunity for us. Kasi parang people were looking for that restaurant level food, but they were all stuck at home because we of course all had to stay safe and at home. So it just kind of melded together for us. Na we've been at it. Then there's the silver lining. A window opened, and we were just lucky enough that we were still working hard and that we hadn't given up before this opened.
Yeah. And I think the second lesson for us is really, when you really care about a product, right? Which again, our third partner here, Subert, no, really demonstrates, right? So we're kind of a witness to the level of passion and care that he puts into the product in terms of development, right? In terms of the quality, it really shows, right? And I think one of the things we're really proud of is that um, our clients have always been quite amazed by the taste, right? The complexity of the flavors, how it's been put together. So I think that's really a testament, right, to when you put care and passion to a product, it can be felt by your customers, and we're really proud of that.
Oo. What I'm still surprised is ang lambot kasi ng product eh. Hindi siya matigas. May sikreto ba 'yon?
Many months of research and many tries. So, I gained a few pounds, Anton, kakatry ng mga beef Wellington and salmon.
Oo, at saka when we saw it, sabi ko, ang tapang naman to, Beef Wellington. And I'm sure, sabi ko, you guys would have researched this for years. Kasi it's really hard to get like a product on the first try, di ba? Well, we'll say hi, may mga hi, Alex and Jackie Aquino. Hello, guys. So those people watching, most people watch on replay also. So I think for those people watching, we've talked to a lot of home-based food entrepreneurs, no, and they would always say that the key to their success is to be known for a unique product, which you guys have, no, which is like Beef Wellington. And the other one is getting a really good quality product. Yun nga, a hotel quality product at a good price.
Right.
That you can enjoy at home. Yung enjoy at home, yun needs to have a little tweaking kasi nga the best food has always been those that you cook at home. Eh. Hindi naman yun na deliver. Eh. Any delivery that you do na cook food, it deteriorates. Eh. So those products na nakikita naming yung ganon, simpleng heat up lang. Like for example, meron tayong classmates sa Awesome 10X, sila Malor, yung mga, na-try nyo na ba yon yung ribs nila?
Hindi pa.
Smoke station, try it. Ganun din, once they smoke it, they put it they freeze it, pero naka-vacuum pack. And then, when it gets delivered, parang iinitin mo lang. Parang you put it on a hot bath. Ganon, simple lang, di ba? And that's why we really love your product. And what was your most memorable mga feedback from your clients about your product?
Sure, I can share mine. So mine was, well, as you know, Anton, the Beef Wellington was popularized in the Philippines because of Hell's Kitchen, right? Gordon Ramsay. It's just like a signature product. My favorite feedback to date is when someone told us na she tried the Beef Wellington of Chef Ramsay in Vegas, and she preferred their version though. So it was very, very, it was quite a proud moment, right? And for us, parang we really welcome that feedback. So that's my favorite moment.
That ranks high up for me too. But I think the other ones that are memorable for me are the comments that we would get that they really enjoyed making it, and they enjoyed that they were able to serve something for like Christmas dinner that they made fresh and served hot, and that interactiveness, like the customers were engaged, and I think that's one of the things we were also going for.
Yeah, that's good. So Mark Joseph Bitong said, yes, we really feel the love and passion in the food. I love Francis. So how did you, just to close, for marketing naman, what really worked for you? I think you would do a lot of word of mouth, but what other things do you think that really work for the brand?
Yeah. So again, I feel like it's something that we're still lacking. No, we're really still trying to push ourselves in terms of being able to market. So yes, word of mouth has been the primary driver for us. What we're starting to realize, right, being new to this whole home entrepreneur setup is, parang being able to engage your customers, especially the new ones, right, is really critical. So for a lot of people, Beef Wellington might come off as a little bit intimidating. So for us, being available there to answer questions, right? We assure them, okay, so this is what you want to do, etc. Sometimes if they make a mistake, they ask us, okay, how do we recover, right? And we're able to provide that, right? So I think being able to put ourselves out there in terms of providing service and guidance has been really helpful for repeat customers and for them sharing the experience with others.
And we of course also needed like very good pictures to showcase the food, because it's hard to
Oo.
translate how nice it will taste or how good it smells. And I actually just remembered one of my favorite feedback. We shared some beef Wellington with a friend, and she was like, "This is a meal that I never knew I wanted." And really hard because not everyone is aware of it also. So you have to translate that either through, sending it out there na, or making the pictures really nice so people get interested to try it. Yeah.
All right. And that's good. And so what are your plans for, going into your first year anniversary for this birth season? Are you introducing a third product or just focusing on these products and just making more people aware of it? Can you share?
Sure. We actually have a bit of a lineup prepared in terms of other products under development. And I think it'll range from mga accompaniments and desserts, but also what we're really excited about is our newest main, no, which is the beef bourguignon pot pie. So it's a bit of a
Wow.
yeah. So it's this beef bourguignon as stew, right?
Mhm.
Encased in puff pastry still, right? And the concept will still be the same, right? You pop it in
Oo.
your oven straight from frozen, and it comes with par baked dinner rolls as perfect size.
Wow, talaga. Kaya yan? Kaya.
Uh,
You tried it?
na. Yes. We're almost ready to roll it out. We're very excited.
The other
Wow.
reason why we wanted to work on this is we realized that not everyone has an oven, and we get a lot of questions from customers,
Oh, yes.
pero they only have an air fryer. And so we wanted something that could easily be made in an air fryer as well.
Yeah. So the beef bourguignon pot pie will be perfect for the air fryer users out there.
Yeah.
Oo nga, kasha. Kasha. Pero ano yan? Anong size nung pot pie?
Example. Wala example.
It's good for 3 to 4 still.
So,
It's
ganon.
traditional
Celebrate.
pie na size.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oo. All right. Thank you for sharing. And wow, excited for you guys. And thank you for offering this product in Manila. It's quite a unique offering. So, any final message for all those food entrepreneurs, who's still in their stage of 5 years of research and stuff, and who are still struggling here in the pandemic? Any final message to them?
Sure. I'll start. No, I think that our message is, same as us, right? It's still a fledgling business for us. But as Pat mentioned, for years we're really keeping at it. We knew that we would have a product, right? That we felt that we could share with the world. And sometimes it's really just a matter of being ready for the opportunity to come in, right? So we're kind of all in this together, right? In terms of kind of getting ourselves ready for when that happens. And yeah, we're optimistic that the opportunities will really roll in. It just takes time.
And I'd like to add lang na it's important to be adaptable. We would never have expected, like nobody expected that people would be stuck at home for a year and a half. But that just meant that we had to find ways to still deliver the food in a good quality. And yeah, we couldn't get stuck on this whole idea of let's open a restaurant and let's serve it there. And so we really had to, change, adapt, be open, and watch the trends as it's happening.
All right. And maybe for a final, where can they order? In your Instagram ba? Is that the main?
Yeah. So they can just go to www.smithfieldkitchen.com, and that leads to Instagram. You can order via message. You can also order via Facebook. It seems it's the same name, Smithfield Kitchen, and you can message us on Facebook. And yeah,
Yeah. So, just to close, any final tips ba on how to enjoy the product? Meron ba kayong mga secret tip on how to prepare it or pair it, or how do you enjoy the product for other people who wants to try it?
Sure. So I think our tip, right, is the product has been designed to be cooked straight from the freezer talaga. So the best way is once you receive
Ah,
the product, put it in the freezer ulit so it's nice and frozen. And that's the way to kind of achieve the perfect cook, no, for the product. And for the beef, what you want is to preheat the pan as well, because once you put the product on the pan, the way that the frozen product hits the really hot metal, right, provides with a nice seal in the bottom. So that's a pro tip.
ang galing ah. So no towing. You don't need to tow them.
Correct, correct. Because we always forget to thaw our own food, Anton. So we wanted something that will work for us.
Oo nga. Ang galing ah. All right, ang galing. Congratulations again to Francis and Patricia and your brother, your chef brother. What's his name? Sorry.
Bert.
Chef
Mariano.
Chef Bert Mariano. And maybe one of these days you wanted to meet Chef Bert. Galing pala. Siya pala. He's the secret weapon in all the
Yes.
in the quality of the product. So congratulations, guys, and thank you so much. So, guys, please visit Smithfield Kitchen, especially for this coming celebrations this birth season, or if you have birthdays, or sometimes a lot of people just celebrate. Wanted to feel good on a weekend or Sunday lunch. Check them out. All right. Thank you
Thanks.
so much.
Thanks, Anton.
Thank you, Anton.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks,
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.